So say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
So, in an effort to keep this graduation upbeat, I'm only going to talk about one virus today: senioritis. Senioritis is supposed to be one of the best parts of high school, a time to spend with your friends rather than stressing academically. We're supposed to celebrate with activities like prom, senior assassins, and college t-shirt day. But when the remainder of the school year was canceled, many mourned the anticipated loss of these celebrations. However, in typical PHS class of 2020 fashion, we worked to make these a reality, even in the midst of a global pandemic. The night that would have been our prom, hundreds of students joined together on a Zoom call. Shout out to Gwen for making that happen. Friends held socially distanced water gun fights, and a virtual college t-shirt commitment video from the student council allowed us to celebrate how our hard work had paid off. Our efforts to improvise so as to have these memories together demonstrate how our Princeton High class of 2020 has been an exceptional community these last 4 years. But don't just take my word for it. Look at how many of us crammed into the public library on a Friday night to support our friends singing a cappella at Friday Night Live. Or how many of us went to the Mercer County Hockey Finals, even if we left halfway to watch the basketball team play at Robbinsville, just to receive text that the hockey team had the craziest comeback ever to beat Hun. During times of adversity, whether large or small, our class was there, fighting together. Like sophomore year, when we walked out of school in protest of gun violence that took so many innocent lives at Parkland. Or junior year, when we protested white supremacists who threatened to march in downtown Princeton. On a lighter note, when challenged by the chirps of opposing fans during athletic events, we chant SAT scores in unison. When exams challenged your academic stamina, we made study groups together and cheered one another on. But how do we become this community? Close your eyes and imagine yourself as the star in your favorite high school movie. Whether you're picturing yourself as Ferris Bueller or Regina George, your character probably only represents one high school stereotype. You're either the academic, the artist, or the athlete, but not all three. Our class of 2020 has broken down the stereotype that you can only be part of one group in high school. As Troy Bolton would say, you don't have to stick to the stuff you know. It's not uncommon for someone to be a varsity athlete in the PHS choir or studio band and a member of an academic club, like History Bowl or the Science Olympiad. The integration of everyone into a diverse range of micro-communities is what I believe makes our class community so strong. These micro-communities are where we made our first high school friends. How many of you had preseason for a fall sport? Even though you may not have played more than just that season, my guess is that you're still friends with these same teammates from way back in fall 2016. Like freshman year soccer, there were over 30 guys on my soccer team. Throughout the course of the last 4 years, many quit to pursue an instrument, play a sport, or left for, I'll say, other reasons. Nevertheless, the class of 2020 remained a true team, as we stuck together through challenges on and off the field for all 4 years of high school. Our class has formed micro communities in diverse places. Whether you made lifelong memories performing in Europe together, like the studio band or PHS choir, participating in community groups such as Corner House or Peer Group, or spent your lunchtimes cheering on classmates at Futsal Club. A quick shout out to our advisor, Ms. Deneen, and the rest of the teachers who give up their time to support student-run clubs. I hope your experiences at PHS provided you with a solid foundation for whatever comes next. So, the reason why the virus is so hard to cure, and by virus, I of course mean senioritis, is that the PHS class of 2020 has so much to celebrate. I know that in 15 years, when I see a classmate running for Congress, getting interviewed on ESPN, or singing on Broadway, I will wear my PHS Senior Haven t-shirt with pride. Congratulations to the senior class of Mercer County Meme's favorite high school, and thank you for the best 4 years.
Congratulations, class of 2020. It's my privilege to present a round 8 singing The Night We Met by Lord Huron.
I am not the only traveler who has not repaid his debts. I've been searching for a trail to follow again. Take me back to the night we met, and then I can tell myself what the hell I'm supposed to do, and then I can tell myself not to ride along with you. I had all and then most of you, some and now none of you. Take me back to the night we met.
I don't know what I'm supposed to do, haunted by the ghost of you. Oh, take me back to the night we met.
When the night was full of terrors, and your eyes were filled with tears. When you had not touched me yet, take me back to the night we met. I had all and then most of you, some and now none of you. Take me back to the night we met. I don't know what I'm supposed to do, haunted by the ghost of you. Take me back to the night we met. Back the night met.
Congratulations, seniors. I'm honored to introduce you to your senior speakers, Eva Patrone, Benjamin Quainton, Jillian Scott, and Gwendolyn Matsukawa.
Hi, everyone. My name's Eva May Patrone. I just want to start off by thanking everyone for tuning in today. I know we'd all rather be sitting in the front lawn right now together, but it is what it is, and I've always wanted to be on TV, so. I'm so grateful to get to speak on behalf of Class of 2020 this evening. When I received the phone call from Miss Ciso, I was very honored, but very nervous at the same time because I've never spoken in front of this many people before. Now, Ms. Ciso told me the topic of my speech was community. And the first thing that came to mind was my grandfather, Jack Patrone. Now, my grandfather grew up here in Princeton. He graduated PHS in 1945, and he met my grandmother, Jean, in class of 1947. They got married and started a family here and had 5 boys of their own. My grandfather later became chief of police at Princeton in the early 80s. And after taking care of his family, making sure the community was everything it should be was his #1 priority. He always talks about how family and friends are so important and how you should always cherish the people in your life. And I always really took that to heart. When all of us walk through the doors at PHS, I think one thing we can all agree is that our community is very diverse. And that's a really great thing. You meet all different kinds of people with different interests and different personalities. And at one point or another, you might just get lucky enough to find that group of people that make you love, laugh, and smile, and everything in between. And that makes it all worthwhile. And I think mostly we find community through those people. Whether it's hanging out in the main intersection between class, studying in the library, walking to and from the lot, getting ready for an a cappella gig, piling into the bleachers at the homecoming game, running onto the field with your teammates, or driving to Cranberry on a Saturday night just to see your best friends. There's a lot of time in high school, and it goes by really fast. You never know what's going to happen, and especially in the time that we've had to spend apart, really makes us realize just how much we should value the time we have together. No matter what role you played in our PHS community, each and every one of us made it what it is today. And I think it's a pretty amazing place. So with that being said, I'd like to thank all the PHS staff for all their time and hard work, my classmates, to all the parents who ever sat in the stands in cold or hot weather, my coaches who taught me what it is to be a leader on and off the field, my mom and dad and brothers for always supporting me, my family and my friends that I would do anything for. But I especially like to thank that couple who fell in love and started their lives here all those years ago. And for showing my brothers, cousins, and I what community is really all about. The last 4 years at Princeton High School have been everything I could ever ask for, and I will never forget the time I've spent here. I thank God every day to call this place my home, and even though I may be known for Go Stags, once a tiger, always a tiger. Thank you.
Hello, everybody, teachers, students, faculty, and family members. My name is Ben, and I'm truly grateful to be speaking here today. Before I start, I want to thank all those at PHS who helped make this ceremony and the end of our school year possible. These last few months have been particularly trying ones in the United States, and I cannot imagine how stressful and difficult it must have been to keep our school going given our current situation in the country. For Mr. Warren and his online announcements on Power School Learning, to Ms. Ligas and her Trivia Tuesdays, for all the teachers who had to completely overhaul their lesson plans and hold office hours or classes through Zoom, to those who helped give us our caps and gowns and take our graduation pictures at the school, I say this on behalf of all my peers, thank you. So the theme of my speech is achievement. At first, when I was assigned this topic, I was somewhat confused, to be perfectly honest. Had I been asked to write a speech on achievement maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I may have had a lot more positive things to say. When I first entered PHS freshman year, I was very gung-ho about joining and trying as many clubs and activities as possible. I tried debate, Model UN, the Tower, band, History Bowl, improv comedy, badminton club, and a number of other outside school activities. Most regrettably of all, actually, I tried to do pole vaulting on the track team. Why a short, slow, and out-of-shape freshman, such as myself, would try pole vaulting, a notoriously difficult track event, which requires an insane amount of agility, strength, and athleticism, is totally beyond me. And although I did clear the minimum height at a meet once, I predictably quit after the spring season. Fast forward roughly 2 years, and I'm a rising senior, committed to and at the head of many PHS clubs, while juggling an intense course load, as many other students do. On paper, everything's great. I've achieved all that I've wanted to achieve, and I'm ready to face that next checkpoint on the high school journey, college applications. But the other side of the story is less pretty. I am severely depressed and anxious. Crying myself to sleep most nights, I feel unfathomably alone and scared. Having had suicidal ideations and incidences of self-harm, I am seeing a therapist. I am on antidepressant medication, and I am barely hanging on. A lot had been bubbling up, so to speak, to lead to that situation. And for anybody who's been through major mental health episodes, it's difficult to rationally explain why and how these sorts of things happen. However, I can identify one major source of suffering, and that was this deep-seated, uneasy feeling that I just wasn't good enough. I wish I could say that my drive to participate in extracurriculars and excel academically was totally wholesome and sincere. But if I'm being honest with myself, a lot of it was motivated out of fear, out of a running away from this basic lack of self-dignity. I was addicted in many ways to achievement and to all the superficial validation and accolades that came with it. All of us will go on to achieve things in our lives, as college students, as musicians, scientists, teachers, activists, or on whatever paths we choose to take. If I could give one piece of advice to this graduating class, which, as a member of this class myself, I am really unqualified to do, it would be this: do not live your life as a self-centered achievement checklist. I don't mean to generalize for the whole of the student body, and maybe my concerns about achievement are projected and unsubstantial. But another part of me thinks the opposite. Our modern American culture is one that glorifies competition, ambition, achievement, and productivity, a pattern which in many ways I see as especially prevalent at PHS. I fell into this rat race of compulsive doing, achieving just to achieve some more, only to achieve a little more. There's a quote by the poet Charles Bukowski which I really like. It goes like this: "Some people never go crazy. What truly horrible lives they must lead." Now, I'm not suggesting you deliberately try to experience deep psychological suffering in the hopes of leading a better life. But I will say that through my experience, I learned a lot. On a practical level, I gave up many of the activities which I had been committed to since the beginning of high school. And on a deeper level, I let go of many of the harmful, negative ways in which I saw myself, my relationship with others, and my relationship with the world. What I sacrificed in terms of superficial achievement, I gained in terms of personal growth, which is, for me at least, a more meaningful kind of achievement in and of itself. Now more than ever, in an unprecedented moment in history, with intense civil unrest sweeping the country, difficult and necessary conversations happening about racial justice, all against the backdrop of our ongoing struggle against the coronavirus pandemic, I see the importance of remaining grounded and approaching the turmoil in the world from a place of openness and compassion. I hope we can all go forward into this next chapter of our lives with a sense of balance, rooted in ourselves and in our inherent self-worth, with the freedom to follow our interests and ultimately contribute to the world in a positive way. This is a difficult task, one that I am far from achieving, but with confidence and trust in ourselves, I know it can be done. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Jill Scott. So my topic today is the future. The future. It's the one thing that we can be scared of and simultaneously long for, especially during the formative times of our high school life. I'm sure that every single one of us at some point or another has said, "I can't wait to be a teenager, to go out with my friends in town," or "I can't wait to drive a car," or "I can't wait to go to college so I can live my life." I can only speak for myself when I say this, but I feel like it was just yesterday. I was wearing all pink and pigtails, running around the playground, playing freeze tag without a single care. But over the last year, I've realized that in this day and age, we look for the next best thing, the newest gadget, the hottest style out there. But when have we taken the proper amount of time to appreciate who and what we have around us. I know that my topic is the future, but how are we expected to ever make it forward without recognizing what has occurred in the past? I would like to take a second to look back on a few moments at our time at PHS. Our beginning was difficult, to say the least. With the political climate testing our personal relationships, the loss of schoolmates, and numerous of other events that have affected all of our lives. Now, I might be a little biased when I say this, but I believe that our class has to be some of the strongest groups of people I've ever met. These past 4 years have been testing us beyond our belief. As soon as we came together to fight through it, something else became an obstacle. But because we had each other, we were able to pull through it. Some might not be able to see this now, but one day we will think back and realize that if we can come out of this, we have the ability to exceed all limits and boundaries that might be thrown at us. Resilience is within all of us. As we continue to walk through these halls and experience all that high school has to offer us, I can't help but think where our next steps are going to take us. With all this time at home, quarantined from the rest of society, I've spent many of my days and nights thinking about where I'm going to be within the next few months. Asking questions like, am I even going to get to school? Am I going to get back to work? And everything in between, freaking myself out because the answers are absolutely nowhere to be found. But one day, I stopped, and I said, what if I stopped asking questions and started planning for what I can control now? And what if I just took a minute to live and experience the future that is right now? It's a total cliche, but I believe that we can't always ask questions and expect the answers that we want, if any answers at all. A Princetonian once said, all of life's answers are available to us if we just knew the questions to ask. Albert Einstein. It's okay not to know the answers or the questions to situations. We continue to learn and grow as we go through this life. I do my best not to be scared of what can come next, whether it be the next day, week, or year. I typically enjoy thinking of what will come next in the future, but that is because I'm continually reminded of this. And if you remember anything from my speech, I want it to be this. Listen, pay attention, treasure every moment. Life isn't about finding yourself, it's about creating yourself. These few and simple words have carried me through these past 4 years, and as we move on to the next part of our lives and go our separate ways, who knows, maybe our lives will cross paths again. The future is waiting for us. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Today is a big day, obviously. We've reached the finish line. I'm not sure if that's just me, but that seems crazy. We've all changed a whole lot individually. My words today will be reflected by the topic of spirit. After being in this school for 4 years, I am painfully aware of the fact that Princeton High School students like to brag about our lack of school spirit, but hey, can we really say that when we won the most praiseworthy title of Best High School in Mercer County on Mercer County meme page? I mean, we couldn't have won that if we didn't really, as students, have any pride in our school. I can honestly say that freshman year, I had thought myself that this high school did not have the kind of spirit that I was expecting, because I was expecting a huge sports following, crazy color coordination during the week leading up to homecoming, and all the stuff that we see in the movies growing up. But then the next 3 years flashed by. In that time, I began subconsciously looking forward to the little things that PHS offered every year. Miss Elia, you never had me as a student, but when I could smell those warm, fluffy waffles coming from your room, the smile that sprouted on my face. I was never associated with the computer robotics and system clubs, but the happiness that overflowed from that room made it obvious that it was a wonderful community to be a part of. And what about Friday Night Live? Sure, that might not be only PHS a cappella groups, but I think I can speak for many of us here that when we're sitting in that very cramped room with our butts hurting on the hard floor, listening to our fellow students sing so beautifully made that night something to look forward to every year. Another event that has been on my radar is Asian Fest. It is clear to everyone that attends, and that includes a very large number of people, how much effort is put into the performances, booths, artwork, and so much more. I can genuinely say that from the second I walked into the gym to the next 30 minutes I spent talking to my friends about how much fun I had after I left, I could not stop smiling. The plays and musicals put on by the school every year are astounding productions in which I have said, I really want to see that, countless times to my sister when we walk into the PAC and see flyers for them in the morning, although she probably got really sick of hearing that. And of course, I cannot forget our sports teams. Sure, we aren't particularly known for our athletics, but from my point of view, the student athletes at our school are constantly advertising their games, whether that be on social media or by word in school. I don't mean to brag, but PHS volleyball did have quite the turnout for several of our games this year. And it was always fun to hear about students participating or just in the stands to cheer friends on at Corner House's dodgeball tournament, making it very clear that our school was the best one there. I see students advertising events for futsal club, environmental club, active minds. I often hear about experiences students had in other countries, whether that be for their language class, studio band, or choir. I hear about awards won by PHS students at conferences for Model UN, or hear about things going on in History Bowl, and the well-deserved praise for our yearbook club. Even now, when we aren't physically in school, we could see Black Student Union working with the school's tower, as well as PHS Key Club working hard to give a platform for student voice, as well as supporting the Black Lives Matter movement, in which I would like to express mine, as well as many other students, admiration and gratitude. I could go on and on about the hard work displayed at our school, as you could probably tell, and that is most definitely not all of it. There's so many more strong bonds and ties between the students here that I wish I could continue to speak about. One quick glance at these communities, and you can feel the commitment, care, and excitement in the air around them. Whether we realize it or not, this is how we have been representing ourselves and our school. Representing PHS in all of these different ways is something I genuinely believe our students are very proud to be doing. If that doesn't convince you of this great, crazy school spirit that students at our school have, then I don't know what will. We might not have the school spirit that everyone typically thinks of, that students might compare to other schools, but I think that the kind of spirit that we have here is one of a kind. Isn't that part of what makes PHS so wonderful? I am so grateful that I can call myself a Princeton High School graduate. It felt like I had so much here. This is a school that I, as well as many of us here, are so very proud of being a part of. Everyone has their own memories, whether that be good or bad, in association to what the high school has given us. There is no denying that PHS has brought us lessons and moments that we have and may continue to reflect on for the rest of our lives. But the unique energy flooding through this school had an immense influence on the good memories that I will never forget. Thank you all for contributing to our version of the school spirit that helped shape the PHS experience that is finally coming to a close for us today. Thank you.
Congratulations, seniors. I'm honored to introduce Cats Meow singing their rendition of Billy Joel's And So It Goes.
In every heart there is a room, a sanctuary safe and strong, to heal the wounds from lovers past, until a new one comes along. I spoke to you in cautious tones. You answered me with no pretense, and still I feel I said too much. My silence is my self-defense. And every time I've held a rose, it seems I only felt the thorn.
And so it goes. And so it goes. And you're the only one who knows.
Hello, PHS graduates and families. This sure is not how I plan to address my first graduating class as principal, but 2020 seems to be the year of trying new things, so I'm going to embrace it. Though we cannot be together in a traditional way, I am grateful for my health, and I pray that you are all healthy as well. Superintendent Cochran, members of the Board of Education, faculty, parents, friends, alumni, and community. I am honored to stand before you today presenting the class of 2020, which is the 92nd graduating class of Princeton High School. I join our student speakers in thanking all the very special people who have helped along the way. Thank you to the parents, grandparents, relatives, elementary and middle school teachers, and of course, the PHS faculty and staff. I want to acknowledge our senior class advisor, Ms. Christine Carbone, as well as our retirees this year, Ms. Bergman, Ms. Stokes, Ms. Lieberman, Mr. Lovato, Mr. Stansky, as well as Superintendent Steve Cochran and Assistant Superintendent Annie Kosick. I also want to recognize the many people who have worked countless hours behind the scenes in preparation for this virtual event. Thank you, Mrs. Ligas, Mr. Warren, Ms. Ciso Stentz, Mr. Johnson, the grounds crew, custodians, building monitors, and all the faculty, staff, parent, and community volunteers who helped us in this uncharted territory of a virtual graduation ceremony. I have 2 speeches today, but don't groan, they won't be long. One speech is to the parents, and one is to the students, because I think both groups should be celebrated and addressed today. Parents, here first, because I'm delaying my goodbye to your children as long as possible. On behalf of the staff at PHS, I want to sincerely thank you for the time we've had with your children. You've entrusted them with us for more hours a day than you probably see them. Our teachers, counselors, coaches, aides, secretaries, custodians, and cafeteria staff took care of your kids as they did their own. This means sometimes we loved them, sometimes we got frustrated with them, sometimes we laughed at them, sometimes we shared their antics with colleagues, and I'm sure we have all shared stories about them with our own families at the dinner table. All of this was done in love at the end. I think I can speak on behalf of my staff when I say it was our pleasure to have helped take care of your kids these past 4 years. You have raised incredible young adults, so thank you. When I think of what I'm most proud of your children, really our children, I don't think of our test scores or rankings or championships. It's the kindness they've shown to me and to others that makes me most proud. I've seen seniors helping out freshmen on the first day of school, walking them to classes just because they've been the new kid before. I saw groups of students Venmo each other to contribute towards a new bike for a teammate because why not? I was there when they came to my office to let me know of an injustice that they had seen and demanded to be rectified. I have been the recipient of so many emails that I have saved in folders for days when nothing else is going right and I just need a pick-me-up. Do you know how many of your kids have emailed me since we started remote learning? Just to check in and see how I am doing, really. Kids checking in to see how the principal's doing. It's crazy, but these are the kids you've raised. They are kind, caring, and compassionate. They have shown vulnerability and trust in trying new things and possibly failing, and that's so courageous and it makes me proud. Your kids have been my kids every day, and I've tried to treat them as such. So while I'm happy for them going into the next chapter of their lives, it's also quite sad for me as I've grown very close to them over the last 4 years at PHS. Parents, thank you for the gift of your children. Now for the harder part, my seniors. I thank you for the joy you've given me, and I turn into the front circle every day and look forward to seeing all of you. Watching you get off the bus, catching up with you in the halls, you stopping in the main office to see me. You don't hesitate to schedule meetings with me to let me in on your planning, whether it be discussing a need for new programming or planning a student demonstration. No matter the cause, there you are, advocating for yourselves, your classmates, your passions. We've spent the last 4 years together, and I've watched you at games, competitions, open gym, bus duty. Heck, I've even kicked you out of the school at 11 p.m., and that's happened often. And I was met with, "What, you mean we can't be here?" To which I just shook my head and smiled because really, what else could I do? I've had the pleasure of traveling overseas with many of you, and it's amazing, and I'm probably going to jinx myself here. My cell phone number has given out to numbers of kids just in case of emergencies, and not once over the past 4 years have I gotten a prank phone call from a kid. So, knock wood. You know what I have gotten though? I've gotten emails, hallway conversations from you that I will never forget. I will save in my heart, my mind, my inbox. I love that you feel empowered to contact me directly. You share your thoughts, concerns, suggestions, words of congratulation, words of disagreement, words of frustration, words of appreciation. These emails have increased since we went to remote learning. They began with you talking about the pandemic, missing PHS, the spring events. Recent emails are of sadness about racism, inequities, and biases, and what you want the school to do to rectify this. Your emails are respectful, but you don't let me or the school off the hook, and I appreciate that. This has made me understand what PHS needs and how to make the school even better. You have all made me a better principal. Last year at graduation, the reality that I would be at the podium the following year addressing the seniors, well, the weight of that sunk in and it made me nervous. I love being with students. I'm honored to be your principal. And I don't mind addressing teachers in faculty meetings or students at assemblies, but I do not like the spotlight. I never have. And I'm not like my predecessor who can write a poem on the way to graduation that day in the car. You know, me, I agonize over my public addresses. And as I was sitting at graduation last June on the podium on the front lawn, I was worrying. And honestly, looking at where we are now, the situation that we have faced in this world since March 16th, I realized how silly and wasteful that worry was. It was completely not necessary, helpful, or needed. I guess I'm supposed to deliver a lesson to you in this speech, one that will inspire you as you start your next phase in life, which is funny because I learn more from my students each day. You are resilient, thoughtful, creative, spunky, etc., etc., etc. But I do have a lesson from this. I wish I could have that worry back. You know why? It was trivial in light of the problems that we face today. First with the pandemic and remote learning, then with the reality of lost celebrations, and more recently, reeling from the racism that we are confronting in the world around us. A moment that I wasted worrying about is one that I would trade almost anything for right now. To have the right to be in front of all of you, thousands of you, delivering a speech, to be nervous, right? My speech, it would be heartfelt and genuine, but it would be forgotten almost instantly. So take today to be present, be thoughtful about your next steps, and look at everything ahead of you as an opportunity that you are lucky to have. Let's not worry our lives away. Do it for those who can't, do it for those who wish they could, those who are no longer with us, your parents, your loved ones, your siblings who look up to you, but most of all, do it for yourselves because you deserve it. I leave you with this. I miss you, my seniors. I miss that we don't have the opportunity to gather as one PHS community. We miss Vincent and Owen, as we miss others that are not here to celebrate this day with us. So please keep them in your heart. Keep your classmates in your heart. You are still the class of 2020. You are not defined by this pandemic or the losses that came along with it. You are defined by the wonderful people you have always shown me to be and the amazing people you will grow into. I love you all. I miss you today. I will always miss you, and I will remember you. Mr. Cochran, it is my honor to present to you this remarkable class. It is not how any of us wanted to end the year, our graduates' high school careers, or your last year as our beloved superintendent, but let's make the most of it. We have been lucky to serve these seniors for 4 years, and with the authority vested in me as proud principal of Princeton High School, it is my honor to present the class of 2020 to Superintendent Steve Cochran. Thank you.
Greetings, everyone, students, families, faculty, and staff. I am delighted to be with you on this momentous occasion. I hope everyone is safe and well. Seniors, you may know that I'm actually graduating with you today from Princeton. My retirement begins in 2 weeks, and I consider it an extraordinary privilege that my last act as superintendent is to bestow upon you your diplomas and a few words of wisdom. So here are those words. After 60 years on the planet and nearly 40 years in education, it comes down to this. Life is a team sport. You know this intuitively, Think of your most meaningful moments in high school. I guarantee they were spent with other people. Winning a game, performing a play, singing a song, solving a problem, feeding the hungry, tutoring a classmate, leading a protest. People may ask you about your individual achievements, your GPA, your AP courses, your athletic and extracurricular accomplishments, all of which are fine. But you know that success is not about what we do as individuals, but about what we do together. You are the class that has stepped beyond the bubble of a high school focused on individual achievement and competition with classmates. You are the class that is living through coronavirus, climate change, and national outrage over racism. Perhaps more than any other high school class that has ever graduated, you know that we are all inextricably linked, that our survival is dependent on one another, and that our physical and emotional health is tied to our human connections. In 2018, Johann Hari published a book entitled Lost Connections. It was based on his research to find the answer to the fundamental question, why are so many of us depressed? The World Health Organization has actually identified 9 distinct causes of depression. 2 are based on chemical imbalances, but the other 7 are based on imbalances in the way we live. And the greatest imbalance, according to Hari, lack of connection. Statistically speaking, we are the loneliest society in human history. In a recent survey of Americans, 39% reported they had no one they felt close to. And this is especially hard on human beings because we are meant to be together. John Cacioppo, a neuroscientist and one of the leading experts on loneliness, makes the point that our ancestors on the savannas of Africa were really good at one thing. They were not bigger than the animals they hunted. They were not faster than those animals, but what they were much better at was banding together and cooperating. That was their superpower as a species. They functioned as a team, but we are the first humans ever to be disbanding our team. We have lost our connections. This is apparent in the racism that is rampant in our systems and being protested throughout our country. We've lost the understanding that we are all part of the same team. We don't have to live in a society or in a world of winners and losers. To cite the words we have heard so often in the past few months, we are all in this together. One of my proudest moments as a superintendent occurred this past year when I picked up a copy of The Tower. I opened it and saw a full spread, not of where you were going to college, as has been the tradition, but of where you all attended kindergarten. And I knew at that point that you got it, that you understood the key to wellness and the true definition of success. The article celebrated the joy, the curiosity, the connections you all had in kindergarten. And it affirmed the importance of those values in your lives today, even beyond the value of where you might be headed to college. 30 years ago, I left a deanship at Princeton University to begin teaching elementary school. I was inspired then by a poem by Robert Fulghum entitled, All I Need to Know, I Learned in Kindergarten. It seems appropriate for me to conclude my remarks with a few stanzas from that poem. All I really need to know about how to live and what to do and how to be, I learned in kindergarten. Wisdom was not at the top of the graduate school mountain, but there in the sand pile. These are the things I learned. Share everything. Play fair. Don't hit people. Put things back where you found them. Clean up your own mess. Don't take things that aren't yours. Say you're sorry when you hurt somebody. Wash your hands before you eat. Flush. Warm cookies and cold milk are good for you. Live a balanced life. Learn some and think some and draw and paint and sing and dance and play and work some every day. Take a nap every afternoon. And when you go out into the world, watch out for traffic, hold hands, and stick together. Fulghum continues, everything you need to know is in there somewhere. The golden rule and love and basic sanitation, ecology and politics and equality and sane living. Take any one of those items and extrapolate it into the sophisticated adult terms and apply it to your family life or your work or your government or your world, and it still holds true and clear and firm. Think what a better world it would be if we all, the whole world, had cookies and milk at about 3 o'clock every afternoon and then lay down with our blankies for a nap, or if all governments had a basic policy to always put things back where they found them and to clean up their own mess. And it is still true, he continues, no matter how old you are, when you go out into the world, it is best to hold hands and stick together. Seniors, we are all on the same team, the whole world. If we were together on the grass in front of Princeton High School, I would have asked you at this point to hold hands with one another. I am asking now that you grasp the hands of the people next to you as I share this final proclamation and conduct my final act as superintendent. By the power invested in me by the state of New Jersey, I accept the certification of Principal Jessica Baxter that the seniors in attendance here today have met and indeed surpassed the academic requirements necessary for the completion of high school, and I pronounce the Princeton High School class of 2020 ready to receive their diplomas. Congratulations, seniors. Thank you all.
Luca Abishtid. Sean Adonisio. Ayub Ahmed. Rita Ahmed. Yasmin Aksharan. Kun Aladdin. Syed Aussie Ali. Bernice Bella Almodovar. Nandita Amanamanchi. Siem Andaburhan. Emma Anderson. Olivia Anderson. Iman Anwar. Rohan Aurora. Stephen Avis. Grace Axelson. Camille Bakulis. Tarika Bala. Geffen Barcohen. Daliana Barletto. Morgan Beamer. Luano Bell. Isabella Bensavenga. Nina Bergman. Violette Bertolou. Anushka Bhatia. Andre Beal. Richard Charlie Biggs. Eli Bilski Rollins. Callum Binney. Anna Burge. Caroline Burkle. Oliver Bishop. Ethan Blazer. Marti Bosch. Jonathan Borg. Samuel Brandt. Philip Brendel. Josie Brothers. Emma Bryan. Michelle Bryson. Jacqueline Buford. Megan Callahan. Zane Carlson. Jason Carrillo. Faith Carver. Freddie Stanley Castellanos. And now Mrs. Puglisi will continue with the reading of the graduates.
Cameron Chana. Ashley Charles. Ella Chowder. Adia Chawla. Gautam Chawla. Kevin Chen. Michelle Chen. Kimberly Cheng. Matthew Sincata. Alexander Clara. Lydia Cohen. Mateo Constantine. Grace Cook. Sophia Craver. Fernando Cuj Hernandez. Jessica Curran. Cameron Davis. Carolina de Sousa Lima Azevedo. Henry de Cheser. Liam Deming. Leon Deng. Sebastian Denis. Meta Deer. Lena Dibble. Emily Dobler. Josephine Dodge. Lila Duran. Caleb Dubois. Lily Dudas. Margaret Duhan. Caroline Ely. Logan Eastburn. Anna Eaton. Vera Ibong, Ben Eisenberger, Naim El Yusufi, William Ellsworth, Eveline Enthoven, Juan Pablo Escorcia Dominguez, Ashley Evans, Madison Fetch, Molly Frayne, Christina Frankie, Brian Frost, Tyler Fu, Yao Flora Fu, Laura Galvis, Sophia Gao, Anushka Ghosh, Helena Gifford, Fabian Glaetzer, Lana Glissick, and now Mr. Song will continue with the reading of the graduates.
Sophia Greco, Ava Green, Alan Gu, Jordan Isabella Guidi, Amanda Gulbal, Blake Gunawan, Michaela Guo, Freddie Guzman, Ramir Hale, Conrad Hall, Luke Andrew Haluska, Cosette Hansen, Elizabeth Hare, Kavya Harish, Diaviana Harris, Tima Harris, Julia Hobart, Laura Halbold, Jillian Haushold, Angela He, Margaret Hill, Isabel Ho, Alexander Hojabane, Dorothy Huang, Stephanie Huang, Audrey Hunsvet, Raisa Ihnat, Andrew Ivanov, Sophia Ive Gonzalez, Anisha Iyer, Anthony Jiang, Suhan Jiang, Cassandra Jin, Elizabeth Jones, Juwon Jung, Dhruv Kanchi, Haram Kang, Ronik Kapadia, Spencer Katz, Parker Kaufman, Tarab Kasim, Omar Khan, Shrishti Ketan, Maxwell Kilborn, Amy Kim, Jeffrey Kim, Benjamin Kyoko, Charles Kolasfari, Jason Kratzer, Eleonora Crakey Martin, Sudansh Kumar, Kiran Konixerol, Eileen Tara Kursat. And now the reading of the graduates will continue with Mrs. Rebecca McAvoy.
Ananya Lahiri, Pia LaPlaca, Noah LaPointe, Abigail Lau, Sarah Lavino, Peter Lee, Samuel Lee, Sophia Lee, Alexander Leung, Madison Lewis, Nina Lee, Yufan Lee. Anna Lieb. Kate Liggio. Anna Lynn. Jonathan Lynn. Colleen Linko. Lauren Liu. Angela Lorenz. Allison Liu. Charles Luo. David Luque. Samantha Lyle. Duan Liu. Justin Liu. Eric Ma. Anthony Maffey. Aya Mahana. Jordan Marabello. Shayla Marciano. Zachary Marks. Shreya Mather. Gwen Matsukawa. Parker Maxwell. Ryan McCormick. Catherine McDonald. Riley McMahon. Renee Melman. Tracy Meng. Sydney Merrill. Anna McCoskey. Storm Miller. Tway Tway Min. Nishant Mishra. Mate Moldavenu. Kenya Morales. Leon Morduck. Ben Moyer. The reading of the graduates will now continue with Mr. Velasco.
Irina Mukametsanova. Luis Munoz. Winifred Nagar. Shravya Nandiala. Krista Niver, Ella Norman, Thomas Novak, Liam O'Brien, Erica Oak, Reagan Oak, Muhammad Omer, Isai Onofre, Claire Orban, David Osipov Grodsky, Frederick Ott, Varsha Padmasola, Justin Pan, Jeffrey Papa Constantino, Stavrula Papa Constantino, Connor Parrish, Julia Parsenios, Nydia Parsons Square, Thomas Patchell, Sarah Patel, Brandon Pang, Matthew Perello, Ava May Patron, Judd Patron, Christy Phillips, Meghna Pathani, Luke Pompliano, Fernando Ponce, Justin Pormili, Emily Poston, Isabella Patakni, Kimani Powell, Alisa Prakashin, Benjamin Quayton, Brooklyn Qualin, Hannah Kwan, Benjamin Quinones, Sarita Raghunath, Jason Ramirez, Stephanie Ramirez, Dylan Raphael, Andrew Reback, Aiden Reagan, Devin Riley, Samantha Resnick, Jessroom Rayan. And now Mrs. Garcia will continue with the reading of the graduates.
Linwood Riddick, Dominic Riando Kraus, Matthew Rinaldi, Calvin Ristad, Montserrat Romero Correa, Lily Rooney, Lauren Rogus, Alaire Rowe, Ryan Rowe, Devin Roy Chowdhury, Xiao Wan, Alexandra Rubin, Raisa Rubin Stankovic, Ariella Russin, Rocco Salvato, Nicole Samios, Matthew Henry Sanchez, Gerber Santos, Sora Sato, Alana Shear, Carolyn Schwartz, Abrielle Scott, Jillian Scott, Carter Serksner, Samuel Seward III, Iman Shamshad, Junjie Shang, Ruhail Shapu, Ria Sharma, Kylie Silverman, Daniel Singer, Maeve Singer, Camilla Smith, Abba Mame Smith, William Smith, Jack Stein, Zoe Stokes, William Studholme,
Yuri Sturkis. Jack Sue. Caroline Sullivan. Emily Sullivan. Jack Suzy. Morgan Swanky. Maureen Tamada Wu. Melody Tang. Francisco Tavares. Justice Taylor. And now, Mrs. Shaw will continue with the reading of the graduates.
Sophia Tang. Alexis Thomas. Aiden Trainer. Vincent Trailer. Nicholas Trenholm. Megan Tria. Zin Tun. Abhishek Vachani. Milan Vaklavik. Catherine Volante. Michelle Vasilev. Natalie Verlinde. Fanny Vignot. Myla Welu. Abigail Walters. Christopher Wang. Evan Wang. Lele Wang. Vincent Wang. Jade Watson. Dylan Reese Watts. Spencer Watts. Isabel Wang. James Wirt. O'Neill White. Eleanor Wilkinson. Raina Williamson. Grant Willian. James Wilton. Luke Wingreen. Colleen Weissman. Edmel Wardlow. Yihan Wu, Andrew Yan, John Yang, Kaiwen Yang, Sophia Yang, Rebecca Yashar Gershman, Dor Zakut, Victoria Zamet, Enoch Zheng, Maggie Zhang, Yifan Zhang, Yingying Zhao, Yi Zhao, Michelle Zhuang, Stefan Zilovic,
Now stand and sing with heart and voice our alma mater's praise. Let all who know thy guiding hand to thee the chorus raise. Our friendships hold in memory thy tower against the sky. And evermore our hearts shall ring in praise of Princeton High.
PHS graduates of the class of 2020, you may now turn your tassels.